Hi Potassium, how are you? Happy Friday. Thank you guys for joining me today on my first, vegetable garden update. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys know how I fared in the past week since I started this little experiment. So, let's start with what I'm really excited about. So last week, one of the things I did was go ahead and use the bottom of a celery stalk to try and regrow it, right? And in that whole time, look what turned out. Look how cool that is, right? Very cool. This one is almost ready, I think, to pot. I'm gonna wait a little bit till the little leaves and stems get a little bit longer, but then I can go ahead and plant this and it just grows, and as it gets taller, I can just snip off the little bits that I want and it will keep reproducing and growing. But look how cool that is. Look how much it grew in that little bit of time. I was actually worried about this one because I wasn't seeing anything growing and I was afraid that it was just shriveling at the bottom, but it surprised me and it grew, so that's very exciting. Very nice. Now, the other one that we knew was gonna work was the sweet potato. Let me pull this one out here. As you can see, the little roots got a little bit longer. The little slips or sprouts up here, the little stems got a little bit longer too. Very cool. This one's not quite ready yet. I'm gonna wait till the little sprouts get a little bit longer, maybe about 5 inches long is what I read, at which point I think I can just pluck these bits off and plant those, but I'm gonna wait. And the cool thing is I have another one going too. Look at this one. This one I had it on its side and it still worked. Look at that. I got 2 of these. Plenty of sweet potatoes for me. There we go. The other one I want to show that I think turned out, that I think is going well, although I'll have to wait a little bit longer, is the onion, right? So let me go ahead and hold up the onion right now. It's gonna drip a little. That's okay. But as you can see, it's shriveled up a lot. Like it turned very leathery and dry and it's been sitting in the water. But underneath, I see some of the old roots here, but there is one little white root that came out of the side. And over here, I can see a few more starting to poke out. So I think this one, I'm gonna just wait a few days longer so I can go ahead and pot that one as well. And hopefully it can start growing underneath. The one thing about onions though is that they don't grow as fast as, say, like a celery does. And from my understanding is that it might take several months for me to get a full-sized onion. But that's okay, I have the whole summer to work with it. Now, let's talk about what didn't work out, right? So, I'm very disappointed about this one. My little garlic, nothing sprouted, nothing came out. And it's just disappointing because I use garlic a lot in my cooking. I think it smells really good when you pan fry with some butter and you can mix it with a lot of stuff. But so sad nothing worked, or maybe it's just taking a little bit longer. But in that whole week, there's been no changes here. I even separated the bulb a bit, and yeah, nothing new. I also had some little green onions that I did the same thing too. And in that same amount of time, that whole week, nothing came out of them. And from my little research, I read that these actually grow really fast too. So I was expecting to see these kind of start growing like the sweet potato did or the celery. And what happens then, once they get longer like this, I can just snip off the bits that I want to use and they'll keep growing. And lastly, none of my bell peppers grew. None of them, right? And apparently these kind of grew really fast. And so I had 4 of them. I did 4 little separate ones and none of them worked now. And that's so sad too, because I was really looking forward to getting some bell peppers and using them for omelets or stir fries or just good old snacking. But now let's talk about kind of what here we have in common, right? So the sweet potato, the onion worked out, the celery worked out too, right? But everything else, like the bell pepper seeds, the garlic, and the green onions, they didn't work. So here is where I can think about kind of what I did wrong. And if I compare all the things that I used, all the ones that didn't work, all are using what? Yeah, soil, right? All of the ones that I planted with soil, they didn't grow. So what that makes me think is that maybe I didn't use the right type of soil. And to be honest, the soil I had there is a little bit older. I don't know if that affects the quality of the soil or the nutrition in the soil, but that didn't work. But that's not to say that I'm gonna give up, right? So what I probably think about doing next is getting a different type of soil, maybe soil specifically for vegetables. I believe there's some like that. And maybe next time I won't plant these in a little glass container that doesn't drain. So maybe I'll use like an egg carton shell to start them off and then transfer them to a pot. I'd read in my research too that I can use that as well. And then I'll have to keep trying with the garlic. I did read another article that said that I have to bury it deeper. So maybe that's why it didn't work out so well, because it wasn't as deep. But I'll try that again next time. But that's it for my update right now. I'll let you guys know how it goes in the next week. See you guys soon.